And we are live with episode 10. We've made it to double figures, mate. Can you fucking believe that, Brim?
I know, it's mad, isn't it?
But it's going well, mate. It's going well. Like, people seem to be enjoying it. And one of the things they do love the most is that you and me, mate, we're not that special. But when we can get quality guests like Sarah Moore and Gunstar, oh, wait. Gunstar, you're here. You're a fucking legend. But Sarah Moore, fuck you. You stood me up, you bastard. I hope you read my Twitter message. I'm so disappointed, mate. Well, Gun, I told you, didn't I? I told you he would do this.
You foretold this happening, yes.
We're all going to go and have a good cry after this.
No. He'll come back with something funny on Twitter or something like that. That's Sarah Moore. Like you were saying before the show, Gunstar, he's a joker. He's got a great sense of humour, that guy.
Oh, yeah.
How you doing, by the way, Gunstar?
I'm doing well, thanks. I'm excited to be here. This is a first for me. I've never done a podcast, let alone a DayZ podcast.
Mate, it's very, very casual. I started off with just myself and Brim and Val and Kerbo and Foxy is kind of our behind-the-scenes person. He never seems to want to actually be on the show, but he's always the one. He's almost like our researcher, Foxy Poke, to some extent. He's watching in the stream at the moment, and he just sits there posting stuff for us to talk about. So if he's happy doing that, then I think that's fantastic, because the whole premise of the show is it's just a community show about DayZ. We're trying to come up with a better name, so if you've got any ideas, Gunstar, but most people seem to be happy with just calling it the Boomer Zone.
I mean, yeah, I like the name. I mean, the only thing bad about it, people might assume it's for boomers only, you know? And if you're under a certain age, you'll be shunned from the community. No. I mean, yeah, you could consider a different name. I like the what was it? 93.7 or
87.8 Survivor.
Sorry. Yeah. I like that. I like that.
That was something I thought about, and Brim said he didn't mind it either, but he just worried that some people who might not be so savvy with DayZ might not understand the. You think about most of the PvP style servers, mate. Most of them probably don't even use a fucking radio, let alone know that 87.8 is the default channel.
Right.
Just quickly want to check, how's the audio of everyone now, folks? I've been noticing in the recordings that the guest's voice is always a lot louder than mine. How's the audio with them now? Gunstar, if you want to count to 10 for us? Just joking. Just say something.
Oh, I'm sure. Hey, test. I'll try to talk at this volume.
Brimstone.
If I'm too loud, I can turn myself down.
No. That seems pretty good now.
I wouldn't even bother turning myself down, because I would, knowing my luck, I would end up pressing something that broke something. So not sure it's really worth. I'll let the other techie guys do their thing and make the changes.
There we go. I just turned you up a little bit, Gunstar. A bit of feedback there that you're a little bit soft, so that should be a lot better now.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
Check.
So, Gunstar, mate, like we were talking about before the show, the reason why I asked both yourself and the miserable git who didn't turn up to be on the show was you guys are two of the in my opinion, unrecognised for the value of the stuff that you guys put out, but of the OGs of the DayZ standalone community. For those who haven't heard of you, do you want to just go through a little bit about when you first started playing and what they can expect when they watch you stream? Just tell us a bit about you.
Sure. Yeah, I had a couple of hit videos on YouTube. They were well received on Reddit. That's very hard to do, by the way, to get a video to like actually get to the front page of the subreddit. It seems it's difficult to do.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I lucked out a couple times, and that got me some subs, and that's how it all started. I guess before that, I watched Frankie in 1080p during the early mod days, and that inspired me to play the mod, and then, tale as old as time type.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm I'm mostly a friendly player. I don't KOS so much unless my character's dying of some disease or something, and I'm just trying to go on a blaze of glory. That'd be the one rare time where I might think about it. But yeah, I'm friendly mostly. I like tricking people into thinking I'm some dumb friendly, and then they try to take advantage of me, and then I end up killing them when they miss their initial shots. That type of thing. I like that when that happens naturally. But yeah, I don't know. That's all I got, I guess.
No, but that's one of the things I like about you, mate, because I was talking about it earlier. Like, I had a contact in my stream. I don't know whether you were watching at the time. I think it was before you jumped in. But someone tried to hold me up, and I ran, and he was like, "Don't make me shoot you, don't make me shoot you." And the next thing, he just unloaded on me with 30 rounds from an AK or something along those lines. And I pulled out a taser, and I tried to tase him. Because my goal is to actually capture one of these guys who tries to hold me up, rob me, kill me, and then I want to lecture him about why he's a bad, naughty boy. Because, mate, the thing I was saying to people was there's so many fantastic PvP players who just run around killing everyone. And that's simplifying some of these guys. Like Toprek is one of the funniest guys for his videos and that. But predominantly he does play a lot of PvP with his squad and wiping out other people with some shenanigans thrown in there as well. But I'm not going to try and compete against those guys. I can't PvP like them. But what I can do is be friendly and have interactions that usually end up with me dead on the ground. But when they don't end up with me dead on the ground, it's something different to what most people are doing. And where there needs to be more people like you, mate, showing that DayZ's not just about killing. And that's one of the reasons I like Ceramore as well. Ceramore's just a madman.
Oh, yeah, he's nuts. He actually killed me. He might not know this, but he killed me last night.
No.
Yeah, at the Starry Tents. He doesn't know this, but he shot me in the back. It was a hold up. He tried to hold me up, and it went wrong. But yeah, that's Ceramore for you versus us, who we're the guys getting shot in the back.
Yeah,
at Starry Tents.
I predominantly play on the DayZ Down Under server, and I joke about the fact that I'm the biggest whale that you could find on the server. I can't PvP to save myself. I'm a loot horse, so I'm always loaded with good gear. And yeah, anyone who wants to take me out, if that's your thing, so be it. But you can't really brag about it because I'm the most pathetic player on the server.
Like a walking, talking treasure chest.
Yes, exactly. A loot delivery machine. I find it, and then someone else takes it from me.
Yeah, it's nice. We do all the hard work of finding all these cool items and ammo. We just gotta give it away.
Yep. I had a pair of NVG stolen from me, and I still haven't managed to find another pair, and I'm still upset about that. I'll find that guy. I'll find him. I recognise his voice.
Oh, he actually talked to you
before? Yeah. The one tonight, he didn't actually get to rob me. I got away from him. But a couple of weeks back, I got robbed in another town, chatting with some guy being friendly, and a third guy came up, and I kind of think it was a setup, but he pointed a gun at us, and I didn't have a gun in my hand, so there wasn't much I could do other than comply, because I like to play valuing my life and not just throwing it away. I did try to do a sneaky pick up my gun and shoot him while he was looting, but he saw me, and thankfully he didn't shoot me again. So yeah, I've had my character for a couple of weeks now, so I like to try to keep him alive and not just view him as a disposable respawn and get back into it.
Yeah, it's a good way to play. It's kind of the barely infected style of gameplay. It's the guy who he'll take whatever spawn he gets. He'll never intentionally suicide. Just to get a new spawn. Just gonna play the character that he has. So
we're not saying that other play styles are wrong, but I like his. Yeah, I like his style. He's someone I look up to immensely as a very honourable player.
Yeah, Renee. To me, he's like the original friendly.
Yeah,
like just the nicest guy you could meet in DayZ.
I actually asked him when he was a guest on the show a couple of weeks back, are you the friendliest guy in DayZ? And he doesn't think he is. He thinks he's bumped into some people who are friendlier. I think he said that it was people who he finds in the middle of the woods with no gun. This is going back a while when the bow and arrow was still in, and they're just out there hunting and surviving. He said he's met people who claim they've never killed a single person in DayZ, and I was like, how the fuck can you even do that? How does anyone have never killed someone, even in self-defense? But they claim they've never done it, and it's like, wow. But he did say he'd be well up there on the rankings of the friendliest person in DayZ.
He's so nice, he won't even admit that he's so nice, that he's that nice, you know.
Did you watch his face reveal video?
Yeah. Well, that's an older one, right? The original face reveal? Oh, that was hilarious. I wish he did more like IRL videos like that, because it's honestly a classic skit.
I didn't realize he'd ever even done one. Was it like a legitimate, genuine face reveal?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yep, it's
see, there's a part of me that doesn't want to see it.
His girlfriend is holding the camera, I'm pretty sure, and she goes up to a tent that he set up in his backyard, I think it is, and there's like a fire, or there's a few things just laying there, and she's looting the bag in there and pulls out a gas mask and something else, and then you hear some bushes rustle, and she's like, "Who's that? Who's there?" And then Renee just walks out of the bushes holding a crossbow in his hands. "Hi, I'm Renee." And
nice.
he makes like he sees someone else and shoots him with the crossbow. Don't worry, he's dead. And then he has this big cheeky smile on his face, and it was just, fucking amazing. It was, as Gunstar said, for Renee, it was perfect. It summed him up totally. It really did.
I also want to say real quick, I think it was the original face reveal for Renee, but I've come to realize Renee looks, Barely Infected looks exactly like the actor that plays the Winter Soldier, Sebastian Stan.
Doesn't he?
Yeah. I know the guy you're on about.
It's like a spotting.
The actor.
It's like they could be twins.
I hadn't thought about that, but there's a lot of similarity there, yes.
Anyways, just throwing that out there. If Barely Infected ever listens to this,
I think he does. I think he does, because he likes this sort of stuff. Him and Unn Cooper are my inspiration for starting this. They both did one, and then it fell by the wayside, and I was like, well, I'm not, if anything, able to capitalize on someone else's idea and try to carry on the torch. Renee still watches them and listens and leaves feedback, and he's an amazing guy, a genuinely nice guy.
Love the guy. Love to play with him again. We should all play together sometime, you know?
Yeah. Yep. I think they need to do some more big events with I'm always loath to say with content creators, because I like the idea of the average Joes being able to get into stuff as well. But I recognise at the same time there's issues with that, because you get the trolls who'll just come in and just try to fuck with it because that's their thing. They just like to shit on the world and that. But there needs to be more events done. Like, Batty was doing a few where she put invites out to people, and we got together on islands and had big battles, and just some novelty stuff to bring a bit of passion. I'd love to see Bohemia start Survivor games like Brian Hicks and them were doing back in the day. They were the be-all and end-all. You'd remember them very well, wouldn't you, Gunstar?
Oh, sure, yeah. I'm surprised Bohemia doesn't try to do more like event-type stuff just to get the hype going.
Yeah.
I mean, DayZ's doing fine, I guess, but it could always use a little bit more hype.
Well, Brim,
I can imagine it's a nightmare as well, though, to get those events going. Consider it as well, especially like now with this whole coronavirus thing. I can imagine it's not going to be a case of having just sort of one guy from Bohemia, putting something out on Twitter and turning up. It's going to be quite an effort to get it all going, I would imagine. Which, when everyone's sort of working from home at the moment, might not be too easy. But I do agree, it would be quite cool to see some more stuff like that going down.
Yeah. And like we talked about last week, I think it was, Brim, it seems like we've got a return to the old with the new community manager, Jacob. So maybe we will see stuff like this in the future.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, he seems to be. I mean, obviously, the only issue is that on Twitter he doesn't always sign that it's him. So the DayZ Twitter account puts something out, but they don't. That tweet doesn't then have at the end the name of the person that's tweeted out that specific thing. But he has done. I think when he first sort of started taking it over, people were like, "Who the fuck are you? Like, why have we suddenly got someone decent on the other end of this screen?" And he was like, "Oh, this is who I am," kind of thing, and sort of introduced himself, which I think is really good. And he seems to be quite active on the DayZ Reddit as well, the official DayZ subreddit. So it's quite good that they finally, like you say, they finally got a return to the old way of doing things, which I think is definitely a positive step in the right direction.
Like, I even liked it. Gunstar, did you ever have anything to do with Esmos when he was the community guy?
Yeah, was he one of the original dudes?
Yeah.
I recognize the name.
Yeah, and he used to go and play with streamers and jump onto community servers. Like, I remember seeing a video of the Blue Waffle guys taking him on a tour of one of their servers and all the bases they had. And I did a run with him with Vigilante Gamer, and we just talked shit, and it was amazing. Just having that. I understand. We talk. I know we're kind of doubling up on previous episodes, but I understand the dangers of putting too much of yourself out there, but it is nice when they do because it enables you to get that bond.
Oh, yeah, I think DayZ's perfect for that. Just like you'd hop into a game real quick and play with whoever, if a dev wants to. It'd be cool to play with the dev, I would imagine, because it's like, yeah, you're playing with someone on the inside, so they can kind of, I don't know. It's like going around with some DayZ guru in game.
Yep. Okay, so the topics for this week. Derleth, another one of our behind-the-scenes people who's also watching, I believe, suggested the modding community controversies. I don't know how much you've been following this, Gunstar, but there's been the biggest one that most people are aware of is the airdrop situation. The airdrop or advanced airdrop mod got pulled because of a DMCA and false counter DMCA, causing the mod to disappear and all the community to suffer. Seems like it is a growing problem. Just this morning, some guy uploaded around 30 repacked mods without a word of credit. Going to cause chaos when he gets DMCA'd if he decides to be a dick. The leather crafting one was also taken down. We don't know why. It's just been fucking insane with the mods, which creates a lot of chaos for the servers when, especially, some mods tie into other ones, and if the one's not there, then others don't work, and it's just adding a lot of extra. Have you noticed that on any servers you've been playing on, Gunstar, some issues?
I have noticed a few times that like a mod just won't download, and I'll have to restart DZSA or restart Steam. But yeah, there's like an extra couple steps before you can actually get in. I didn't know that was a thing. That's kind of messed up. Is it just like internet trolls copyright striking these mods?
There's a guy in chat who's just spoken up to one. He'll be able to probably tell us more about it in the comments and that, because he does mods himself. But there is money in these mods as well. And that's one of the other issues where the leather crafting one, people are wondering whether that was bought by someone for a specific server and then not allowed to be used by anyone else now, which is, again, I understand it. People put a lot of work into these mods, but it kind of sucks when there's other servers out there that have been using these mods, and then you get these jackasses who are just stealing people's mods. I've had it explained to me in the past that the way they code them, and the one will probably be able to elaborate on it as well. Like, I know of one incident where someone stole a bit of code from a mod, and the person who had originally created it was able to identify it by the text used in the script. They recognize it as their own. Apparently that's a thing they can do. It's all quite, I'm not smart enough to understand that shit, but Brim, do you know much about it?
As far as the coding side of things, absolutely fuck all. I'm definitely not the one to ask about that sort of thing. But when it comes to the overall subject matter of these mods, I don't want to say too much because I don't know fully. But one of the guys who is working on the DayZ expansion is a victim of this situation. He's created a bunch of different mods, including one of the airdrop ones that got taken down. And from my understanding, it was a false claim against him got his taken down, and I think that's what's been happening with all these new repackaged dodgy mods. That someone puts puts a false DMCA claim in against it. It gets taken down because Steam doesn't know how to check things out properly. They just go, fuck it, it's a claim, it's got to be legit, and they just pull it straight away and then think, oh, we'll reinstate it later if we need to. And then in the meantime, then that person just puts up their own dodgy version of it, and obviously then gets all the credit and all the good stuff with it, so to speak. But then, like you say, if you've got, if that mod is on a big server, like for example the Blue Waffle guys, if they've got one of those mods on their server, they've constantly at full population, like 100+ people on their server every day. So if they've got, that one of those mods gets taken out, suddenly that's a massive, hit to their server. And like you said, if they're linked to if that mod is linked to another mod, and one needs the other to work, then that's two for the price of one, and that's going to create a hell of an issue for a lot of people.
Did the ones just put some stuff in there, Gunstar, and you'll probably be a bit like me and have a rudimentary understanding of the YouTube copyright strike system, but it seems like Steam's even worse, mate. He said that Steam does not have a review system in place when you file a DMCA against a mod. As soon as you report it, the item will be flagged yellow with a notice that mentions DMCA report under review. The review is bullshit, lol. They just believe what the person reported said. So if you fill out a nice report with fake info, easy peasy, you could take shit down. This is not only DayZ, the entire Steam workshop suffers from this issue. Steam has yet to deal with it.
Yeah, this is wild stuff. It's unfortunate because it's kind of limiting for the whole mod community. Like, if a big mod pack can get erased entirely because it used one little whatever leather making mod within it or something. Yeah. It just sucks that I guess where does the money come in? You said the mods are worth money?
In that sometimes they do them and they sell them to a server. So there are some people out there who are doing it, with the greater good in mind, and they'll leave it there for anyone to use and all the rest of it. But some mods, servers, there's a big race at the moment, to have the best mods, the Gucciest mods on your server, and they won't share them with anyone else. And if they can get complete ownership of a mod at a reasonable price, they'll do it if it's a cool mod, so that their server's the only one allowed to use it.
Huh. Okay. Must be a decent amount of money too, considering.
I don't know. Dewan, do you know, mate, how much money's involved in some of these mods being created for individual servers?
Well, I can imagine it's probably a decent amount. I mean, if you're looking at like all the new helicopter mods and stuff that have come out in the last couple of months, I know there's a good number of, reasonably well-sized servers, such as, the Blue Waffle guys and the, don't slap my wrist for saying his name, but the Milo servers, they've all got helicopter mods on them. So, I think they are getting, you've got quite a lot of mods being sold. But on top of that, you've also got quite a lot of mod makers do put a like a donation link or something on their profile on Steam Workshop as well, and say, look, just kind of like how we do it as content creators, sort of put a thing up. If you want to donate, you can, but it's not necessary. So, I think there is definitely a money to be made, but I can't imagine it's going to be a shit ton.
The Dewan's just said no. But some people offer some shitty dollars for the work they want. Oh, please make me an entire new trader system. Is $100 okay? Yeah.
I mean, I would hope the modders get paid, but yeah, it's interesting.
I've got no issue with them being paid. Everyone should be. I try to make sure that any work I always get done, I'll always pay for it. I even had a guy come in and do some stuff with setting up commands and that in my chat to record scares and that, and I paid him because I always feel you should pay someone for the work they do, and that way it keeps it as a business arrangement and not as you always feel like you owe someone. If you ask them to do something and they agree and then you pay them, it's just a business deal.
Oh yeah, how much am I getting paid for this podcast?
This is the same as me and Brim, mate.
Oh, perfect. All right.
As long as it's like that meme of that. I can't remember what. There's a film with Jennifer Aniston, and it's got that meme of the lad playing her son in the film, and he's like, "Wait, you guys are getting paid?
You guys are getting paid?"
I'll make you a mod in my stream, mate. You get paid the same as all the other mods on Twitch do.
Beautiful. Would it be illegal? No. You could actually pay a mod. Let's say you had thousands of viewers.
Yeah.
You would have to start paying your mods probably at that point, right?
I've actually. You went the same place I was thinking. I do wonder how many, if there are any mods out there in the Twitch community who are paid, because some of them do some insane work behind the scenes for these people. You think of some of those big streams where chat's just flowing at 1,000,000 miles an hour and that, and oh god,
there's got to be mods out there for channels like where you get like guys like Dr. Disrespect, for example, who's streaming to like 30,000-40,000 people at a time, and shit tons of people are chatting. It's got you can't have 3 mods sitting there doing a little bit of work. There's got to be some serious moderation going on there, and there's got to be some money for that, surely.
Apparently Ninja pays his mods.
Not surprised. The guy's fucking minted.
Yeah, although they're not working as hard as they were when he was on Twitch. They're not working as hard as when he was on Twitch, though. A lot less people now on Mixer.
Yeah, but a lot more money in his pocket, though, so fair dues to him.
Yeah, it was a funny one for me, and Gunstar, I'd be interested to hear your view on it as well. Like, I'm old and therefore old-fashioned, but it left a foul taste in my mouth because, Gunstar, how long have you been streaming for?
I quit for a while, but I've streamed on and off for like a 3-year time span at this point. I don't know. And I started like 5 years ago. Yeah.
You probably had people who stayed sub to you that entire time, yeah?
Oh, yeah. And most of them were mods. Yeah.
And people, as silly as it is, people value the mods of their subs to their favorite streamers. And you take a bit of pride in seeing your badge change colors as you progress through the various levels of that. And then these guys had people who'd subbed to them for years, and then they just up and moved to a new platform. And I don't know. I know there was money in it, but they were still making insane money on Twitch. It just seemed a bit shitty to move to what's essentially a lesser platform. That everything I'm seeing, the numbers for Mixer are not good. The last article I heard was that every other platform grew quite large with all the people who were home during this COVID shutdowns and all the rest of it, but Mixer barely grew. By all accounts, that it's pretty much Mixer's numbers go up massively when Shroud and Ninja and whoever else they signed are on, and then they plummet afterwards. But when they go up, they're not going up by the numbers that these guys were getting when they were streaming on Twitch or on Twitch. They're going up with the people who bothered to download Mixer to watch their favourite streamers. The argument I heard about that was that, yes, they're great, but there's a lot of other great streamers streaming the same sort of style as those two who do on Twitch. So if anything, it's been good for those who stayed with Twitch and Facebook gaming and YouTube gaming. but not so good for those two. Numbers
Yeah, I
wise.
mean, for me, I think it's a case of I've always been on Twitch. I've looked on Mixer and I've watched a few streams on Mixer, and I have a very good friend of mine who's just currently pushing for global partner on D Live. So that's essentially the same as partnership on Twitch, So I do switch between as far as watching, but as far as being a content creator myself, I've only ever done Twitch. I've only ever known Twitch. I've now got a small following on Twitch to an extent. So I think it's one of those. I don't really want to say loyalty necessarily, but I think when there's no point in changing. If it ain't broke, don't try and fix it. And I think, like you say, I think the money is the thing that really got guys like Ninja to move over to
Yeah.
Mixer. There's because obviously Mixer's owned by Xbox, which is obviously Microsoft, so they've basically got a blank check to anyone that bloody wants it. So I think it's one of those things where I think they wanted guys like Ninja to come over because guys like Ninja have such a name value. Everybody, if you say Ninja, everybody knows who you're on about when you're talking about it in the context of the gaming community. So even my dad knows who Ninja is. My dad's in his fucking 60s.
Yep.
He doesn't watch him, but he knows who he is. So I think they were trying to get that. I think Mixer were trying to get that sort of name value to elevate them, but I think it's a bit early to say whether it's worked. But like you say, the numbers are showing at the moment that it's not brilliant.
How much to get you to go to Mixer, Gunstar? How much do they got to offer you, buddy?
$500,000 annually. USD.
There you go, Mr. Gates.
I don't know.
There you go, Mr. Gates. 500 grand, you can get the amazing Gunstar. Me?
That's all it takes.
I'd probably start getting tempted around $500. Yeah, I'd probably... No, I would never fucking move. I'm happy where I am. I've just got this shit sorted and I understand it, and I don't want to have to go somewhere else and Sparks or whatever the fuck they call it over there and that other sort of crap. I don't know. Yeah.
It's too much to mess about with. I tried messing about with. I downloaded OBS and Stream Elements yesterday just to have a little look. So I've seen so many people saying it's like this so much better than Streamlabs and all that. And I downloaded it, looked at it. I could not, for the love of me, figure out what the hell I was doing. So I just uninstalled them. And I saw so many people saying, "Oh yeah, but OBS is brilliant and Stream Elements is definitely much better than Streamlabs. It's so easy to use." I'm thinking, fucking, I set up my stream fully on Streamlabs OBS. Within an hour, had everything set up, ready to go. All my alerts, everything was done. And that's coming from someone who had never, ever once done it before.
Okay. You guys need to click on the link that the one just posted. Because he's posted it in chat, I'm fucking revealing it on the stream. He told me to keep my mouth shut because he's already shared this shit with me. But have a look at this fucking trader that he's designed. This is not the expansion mod either. This is the one is a solo modder, and he's come up with this. It just looks awesome. You can rotate the guns, spin them.
Where's the link?
In chat, and have you got the stream open as well?
Oh, my bad. No.
Just wait. I'll post it in the podcast agenda channel.
Okay.
That is a pretty cool feature. That being able to rotate your gun like that, to have a look at it in the trader is pretty cool. No doubt about that.
Yeah. And he's got more stuff that, yeah, when he showed it to me, I was just blown away with the way it works, selling stuff, and it's fucking amazing what he's got.
I like the way that sidebar slides in from the right to the left.
Yeah.
As soon as you open trader menu and it just goes, slides open, got all your options there. That looks really cool.
Yep, it's very, very clever. He's a very, very clever lad. Very, very clever lad. Even if he was involved with... Oh, you don't know, but you would remember this. He probably hates me for fucking bringing this up, but I know he doesn't. He's kind of proud of his legacy. the one. Have a guess what community, what shunned community back in the good old days of DayZ, Gunstar, that he was an admin for.
Oh.
The infamous
Yeah.
420 gaming.
I played on those servers all the time.
Well, he's one of the guys behind it, mate.
Wow. Good
Yeah.
for him.
Yep. I think the very first episode of he got my man Gunstar playing on 420. But yeah,
It's not what it sounds like. It's a great server. It ran very smooth.
Yep. I just remember being stunned the first time I opened a stream up and I saw a boat and I was like, hang about, there's no boats in DayZ. What the fuck's going on here? And it just looked so, yeah, it did look good. I never went on it. You know, I was a bit of a purist. But yeah, I was very envious of the stuff they had on it.
I miss boats.
Well, they're coming back with the expansion mod. They do look very good in the expansion mod.
Okay. I guess those servers are probably filled up all the time, these expansion mods.
Mate, if you reach out to them on Twitter, being a content creator, you may be able to get access to it. All you need to do is just apply, join their Discord, and they'll talk you through what you need to do to get in there. I need to spend more time on there so I can actually learn how to fly a helicopter because I crashed mine within, I think, 5 to 10 seconds of taking off.
That was brilliant. I saw that and that was great. To be fair, I've crashed my fair share, but I've got a clip on my hard drive somewhere of me. I basically crashed one of the helis and then I managed to get it back up and running again and fly it off. And I was so proud of myself. But I've noticed that the auto hover feature is the way to do it if you're trying to land. Otherwise, you're just buggered.
Now, Foxy, all of these mods you linked here, are these all ones that have been stolen by someone and re-uploaded?
No.
I'm just waiting for him to come back because when he posted the original topic we were talking about, the stolen mods, he listed an absolute shit ton of mods here. A BMW one, Bleed Trail, Catch Rain, CJ Drinks, CJ187 Weapon Pack, Gaz Sober, UAZ, KTZ Barrel, Compass DayZ Navigation, a Mustang, a Dingo. They are all off other people's mods. So these are all the ones that were re-uploaded. And they're all items that were stolen from other people's mods, is what Foxy's saying. And the list is just massive. Gauzy, Geist DayZ armbands, Flip Transport, Directions, Signed by Cloud, the Easy Signs mod, Much Stuff Pack. It's just
that MVS system mod's a bloody good one as well. Shame that one's had to be messed with.
This guy just uploaded them on his Steam, is what Foxy's saying. It's just, it's a massive issue. And the image as well. I did reply to Foxy and I said the image he's uploaded with the artwork for it all. There's some sort of, it looks like Arabic writing or something on there, and it's a guy giving the finger.
Which I find the Arabic writing thing a bit funny in a sense, because if I'm not mistaken, the person or people that have been doing this most recently are Russian. So the Arabic writing almost doesn't make sense. It'd be interesting to find out where that idea for the Arabic writing on it came from.
Now, the next point. Brim.
Yes, sir.
Bad Bunny.
Don't even say the bitch's name. No, so basically, I saw this pop up on Twitter a couple of days back, and I knew about her and about the video that she had put out that she's in here,
Same here. I knew as
I'd
well.
seen that when it first came out. And obviously, I think as most of us thought, just like, oh, fuck off, love, have a word with yourself, and just not even going to give you the time of day to to deal with it. But if you watch the video that I've linked there as well, it then goes on to at the end a fella by the name of Brooks or Brox. I'm going to absolutely butcher his name, but he's a guy from New Zealand, and he basically some of his followers gifted him some subs in his channel, and he's such a humble guy who is fully aware, just like we all are, that at the end of the day, watching Twitch is free, and that donations and subs are things are nice but are not a requirement. And he was asking if he could find some way of giving the money back that someone had spent on gifting subs and what have you, because he kind of felt it was unnecessary, whilst he was quite obviously happy that someone liked it.
I want to interrupt you here because I want to challenge one thing. And Gunstar, I'd be interested in your take on this, but I'll be the bad guy here. This is me doing devil's advocate. I've seen the video. He seems genuine, but you don't get a sub button without asking for it.
Well,
yeah, no, I think, sorry. I think asking for subs is fine, if that's the question.
Yeah,
but not demanding it.
But then he's like, "Oh, you don't have to do that. Can I give it back, bro?" And I was like, "It's very sweet."
I know the video you're talking about.
Yeah, it's very sweet, but I'm wondering whether he's making, if it's he's just doing it for the, because he hopes it'll make him look good. I don't know. It's either way. It's still a very heartwarming example of how you should be when people sub to you, not demanding them like Bad Bunny. But at the same time, I don't know how genuine it really is. Yeah, because people are going to sub. People are going to do it, and then to say that, you're better off just saying like, thank you so much. It means the fucking world to me. And, I try to explain to people that, enables me to do stuff, because when you're paying for fucking Adobe Premiere and Epidemic Sound and doing giveaways and all that sort of stuff, it all quickly fucking adds up. It really does.
Yeah, I think the thing with it, the whole thing is that obviously with her, it's more of a she feels entitled. Like she worked. I'm sure she worked relatively hard to get that sub button. It's not something, as we all know, getting a sub button on Twitch is not something you can do in 5 minutes. So I don't want to take away any of her supposed possible achievements. But I think the difference is she's very entitled and spoiled with it. So she's like, she thinks that people should sub to her and that she is owed something. Whereas having looked back on his channel, looking back on his Twitch VODs and stuff, and on his Twitter, he seems like a very, very genuine person who I'm sure there is a part of him that, because, and like I say, I think I kind of agree with you with the devil advocate side of things, that he's probably seen the growth that he's had and thought, fucking hell, yeah, I'm doing all right here. I can make a bit of this, and could kind of play up to it a little bit. But I think originally it was literally a case of like, this is pretty, it's really kind of someone to do this. And I think he's the kind of guy who hasn't had a lot growing up, so to speak. He hasn't lived a life of luxury and had loads of people giving him things, and whereas she seems like she's probably had a relatively half decent life, where she's had a decent house and not had to worry too much, so for him I think it's more profound that even one person would think to sub or gift a sub. And like looking at I think I sent you the links as well, the Social Blade link to his info. Like the amount of growth he has had since this in the last month, since this time last month, is really impressive. Like he's seen his
end
numbers
of the day,
go
I would
right
much
up.
rather a nice guy like him getting it than someone like her. Did you guys see what D Hop just did in chat? sub to Boydie, or you're all leeching. If you were on Twitch watching this, you have $5. When I get a sub, I make sure I refund it, Lex. Yeah. And thankfully,
$5.
But thankfully, I haven't seen anyone like that in the DayZ community. Anyone who has that entitled attitude, you know.
It seems to be that it's only in like the just chatting category, or these sort of like real life vlogger type people, the ones that don't actually play any video games, but they'll sit there, they'll do the just chatting, you know, regardless of gender or any of the other stuff. It seems to be they do just sort of sit there, chat some shit, play some music in the background, and don't really contribute anything, and try to get away with getting on with, you know, just themselves and their personality, which for some people is absolutely doable, 100%. But I think for some people, it's just, you're not doing anything there. You just sort of sitting there doing sweet fuck all with your tits out and hoping that someone's gonna be desperate enough to give you a $5 just on the off chance that you might possibly flash a nipple one day.
Oh, bloody Alinity. Oh, Jesus. That was absolutely shocking. That you can't tell me that she didn't do that deliberately, but yeah.
Nip slip?
Yeah, pepperoni. The old pepperoni. That was the meme that was getting around. But
I've done it before. Sometimes it just happens. And you get these.
But apparently even a male doing a nip slip will get you banned as well, which kind of surprised me when I heard that. It was...
Yeah, they do the whole, Twitch has got a whole no nudity whatsoever, don't care who you are. I think if it's in a video game, it's different. But if it's a mod, I read up recently, if it's a mod, if there's like a mod for a game, and you get, and that mod makes, changes the game to where the characters are then nude, and it's sort of gratuitous in that sense, then they can sort of draw the line there. But if it's already a feature of the game, bog standard as it was released by the developers, then I don't think they have too much worries. But if you on the other end of the webcam are sat there playing a video game with your shirt off, they don't really like it. Well, I'm glad they're actually doing the whole men as well, and they're actually kind of being equal with it and not having that weird double standard.
They're notorious. Twitch are notorious for the double standards of, like Alinity did it. It took them days, or probably I think it was close to almost a week before they finally banned her. She tweeted that she was going to ban herself for 3 days. Sorry, ban is not the right word. They suspended her.
I'll say and then she was back within, I think, 48 hours. I think, what the fuck has that taught anybody?
When the Twitch payout comes in, oh baby. D-Op's having a field day in chat. He's watched these videos. He knows her what she said, pretty much word for word. $20 is a commitment. $20 is a meal. But $5, everyone has $5. Oh.
I think the fact that we got Lax in the chat there is a perfect representation of this in a sense as well, because Lax is obviously got his own custom alerts and stuff that he does that are absolutely brilliant. His follow one saying, "Thanks for the follow. You're only one step away from being a sub." Obviously, just having a joke, taking the piss. I think that's absolutely perfect to have something like that.
Have you seen it, Gunstar?
Wait.
Lax Hawthorne's stream?
Talking about Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the guy in the press vest? Or no, that's
Archie Stormcloud. Lax is the guy with Lax is the guy with the luscious head of black hair that just looks too good to be true. Some say he wears a wig.
Oh my goodness. I'm jealous.
I don't believe it
already.
But he's recorded his own custom alerts, and when someone presses follow, it comes up with him saying, "Thanks for being a sub." Oh, sorry, thanks for the follow. You're only one step away from being a sub, and he puts his fingers up like he's counting money. And when he gets a bit donation, "I don't need your charity," and he pulls his wallet out and tips it upside down, and a couple of coins tinkle out of it. Oh wait, yes I do. It's just good piss taking. But at the same time, it's professional. People love it. He's had those those alerts for ages, and they go down real well. Lax has never taken the piss, they're saying in chat. Dr. Disrespect's lost
No.
Aussie brother. Okay. Well, now we are on to the next stage where I actually wanted to Gunstar, who were your inspirations from back in the old days that got you to start doing videos?
Frankie in 1080p definitely is the original. Say what you want about him now, but he started the whole thing. I wouldn't have ever heard of DayZ if it weren't for him. I don't. So yeah, him in the early days. I remember watching the Running Man Z, years ago. YouTube and Twitch, of course, and Renee, Barely Infected. I hate to name drop and all that, but yeah, I try. My problem, I don't watch a lot. I feel bad saying this, but I don't watch a lot of DayZ. Like, just because I play it so much, I don't end up watching like a lot of YouTube videos anymore, or like hopping in a random DayZ stream. I should.
Yep.
But
what about you, Brim?
Yeah, no.
I think I'm one of the weird outliers that never really watched a lot of YouTube content, back in the day with guys like Frankie. I've gone back now and looked at some of Frankie's older videos and stuff, and really enjoyed them. But I came into the whole DayZ thing really quite late. I think we were already in the 0.6 sort of category by the time I came into the mix, so to speak, and same for Twitch as well. I came in quite late on the whole Twitch thing, watching it. Didn't have a clue what the hell it was.
He's such a baby, isn't he, Gunstar?
Honestly, I might as well be. I really am. I really am a young'un, big time in this. But I mean, for me, it was, I first discovered guys like Loyal Patriot, KD Wolf, Potato. Those were the three that, because they ran together. Guys like Jam Jar, obviously Running Mans, people like that. Taupe, they were all the main guys that I saw back then. In fact, there was a guy who doesn't stream anymore called Shrooms, who was I believe he was German.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. And he's now done university and stuff, and I think he's a little bit active on Twitter. But I used to love watching him play. So I sort of, I came into it relatively late, but there were so many phenomenal content creators out there that were doing it that it was hard not to sort of fall in with it quite easily.
One name from way back that it kind of makes me sad that he's not as big as the other guy who was big at the same time as him is Mr. Blackout. I know he kind of stepped away a bit, but Mr. Blackout's diaries and hardcore series were, for me, and Gunstar, I'd be interested in your opinion on this, but for me, they were up there with Frankie's videos as one of the best stories of DayZ history. He just had this knack. His music selection just made the videos sing. But he was fucking amazing. And he still does stream DayZ from time to time. But it's really sad he's still not making videos because his stuff was fucking next level. I used to hang for every episode of his series.
It's crazy you mentioned that because I definitely watched this guy's videos and I've completely forgotten about him.
Yeah.
I just looked him up. Like his last YouTube video was like 2 years ago.
Yep.
But yeah, he was awesome.
Brilliant. Absolutely fucking brilliant. And, he was one of the chosen ones back in the day. Hicks would get his crew of streamers, and it was Jam Jar, Mr. Blackout, Mr. Moon, Kiwo, Echo X, I think he made it, Loyal Patriot, Potato, KD Wolf, and then he just kind of fell by the wayside. And when I did the interview with him last year, I was kind of disappointed with the amount of views on the video because for me personally, he was such a big DayZ memory, but it just seems like a lot of people have forgotten him, and that's not having a go at anyone. You do forget people, but it confuses me as to how someone who made some of the best DayZ standalone videos has almost been forgotten in this environment.
Yeah, it's a really weird one. He's really underrated for the work that he's done. I think he's got that name value though, and I think that's part of the weird thing of it. Like, he's so underrated, but if you say to anyone Mr. Blackout, everyone knows exactly who you're talking about. So he's in this, like, for me, sort of in this weird purgatory middle ground where everyone knows who he is, but just it seems like like you say, he's so underrated and just does not get the recognition that he deserves.
Yeah. It's kind of sad.
So I was going to say, you just talked to him how long ago?
I did an interview with him probably a year or so ago, spotlight interview. It was one hell of an interview because for some reason I thought it'd be smart to do it drinking because he's now renowned for drinking streams. He gets absolutely shit-faced drunk playing whatever video game he's playing with whoever he's playing with, and I decided that I would go drink for drink with him, and by the end of the interview, mate, I can barely fucking look at the camera. I could barely hold my head up. I drank an entire bottle of port and half a dozen beers. We had penalty words that every time we came in with a list of words for each other, and the thing was to try to get them to say that word, and if they did, you had to do a shot. And as you know, once you get drunk, I just started saying my penalty words so I could do another shot just for the sake of it. And yeah, the interview, that most interviews go for 1 to 2 hours, maybe 3 tops. The one with him, I think, went for nearly 5 hours. But
bloody hell,
he was such a great bloke. Like, it was literally like I'd met one of my old mates from years back, and we were just catching up and continuing on from the last time we'd met each other. Never spoken to the guy before in my life, other than a couple of tweets here and there, and so easy to get along with. Such a fun guy.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I was going to ask if he started streaming again, but I see, yeah, he's streaming all.
Yeah, pretty much he streams weekly, but yeah, he just doesn't get the same numbers as, you know, Jam Jar's absolutely killing it. Katie Wolf and Loyal Patriot are still going strong in that, but Mr. Blackout just seems to have been forgotten, which kind of, it makes me sad because, yeah, like I said before, he was just such a massive creator for DayZ, you know.
Yeah, criminally underrated.
Flew him around the States to go to PAXs and talk about DayZ, and he always did a very good job, unlike bloody Ciao, who rocked up. Fuck, that was a funny interview. Do you know the one I'm talking about, Gunstar?
No, Ciao?
Ciao and Moon. They had a panel with Brian Hicks at one of the PAXs, and Ciao and Moon were shit-faced drunk. And it was a bit of a train wreck, those two being interviewed. Moon was still a bit funny, but Ciao was just, I think he was very badly hungover, and it was, I'd love to find the interview again, but it was, yeah. And then all I could think was, man, they paid money to put you up in a hotel and fly you here, and this is their,
just got
wow.
Shit-faced.
Yeah.
I mean, classic DayZ content creator fashion. I mean, I'd probably do the same thing if I got invited out somewhere. I'd be all excited, have a few at the bar, and then next thing you know,
might go wasted and throwing up on the floor.
But I killed the interview. I'm throwing up now, but yeah, I don't know. I got to watch that. It sounds like fun.
What do you miss the most from the old days, Gunstar?
The old days. I mean, when DayZ was at its peak, the nice thing was, I joined public servers all the time. Like now, you have to join private servers. And I like the days when there were just so many full servers you could join. And they're all public, so they're all just numbered. So it didn't matter which one you joined as long as it was filled. And yeah, didn't run into any hackers, or as many, not nearly as many hackers as you might find now in public games. But yeah, back then it was just so easy to find player interaction. It was like happening more often. Like people weren't, I don't know, everyone was exploring the entire map. Everyone wasn't like sequestered in these little hotspot sections. I mean, there's been hotspots since day one, like Electro, like, you know, coastal fuckery or whatever they call it. That's always been a thing. but I don't know. It seemed just you ran into more people back then, back in the old days.
It was a lot of that, even one of the sad things for me, like, to their credit, the Karma crew really do play a lot together, which I think is fantastic. Minder and Taupe and OG and Wicked and the gang, and they're always inviting other people in there. But they seem to be one of the few crews that still do that. Like for me, the saddest one is I remember, you said you watched TRMZ back in the day. I used to love watching those videos and hoping it was going to be him, Renee, and Super FT Lol together. And now you just don't see them together anymore. And it's not that they all still get along, but their success has kind of driven them apart, which is so sad to see because some of their best stuff was when they were playing as a crew.
Oh, you're right. It's hard to get everyone together nowadays. I don't know. I would imagine. I've never tried to get a group like that together, but
yeah. Did you ever roll with anyone regularly?
No, not really. I usually just play solo, and then if I run into someone, like TRMZ had me on a few times, and that was cool. I played with Renee and FT together one night. That was fun. I made a video out of that. But yeah, it was like a one-time thing. I think I played with Renee one time before that. But yeah, I've run into Smoke like just randomly in game once before.
Did you survive?
Knew who he was. No, I mean we survived for like an hour just traveling around. But yeah, we went to Northwest Airfield and I picked the worst angle and yeah, I got capped. I think he was fine though.
Yeah, he's next level. He's fucking next level. His skills are just ungodly. Him and Taupe are just machines. The shrouds.
I always forget about Taupe. Taupe's a great guy. He's one of the OGs as well.
Yeah,
very very talented guy. But
very funny as well.
These naturals, I don't know how they do it.
Yeah,
I feel like my movement and my aiming in DayZ is not. It doesn't look good. Like it's fun to watch these guys who just have smooth. I don't know what it is. It's like the way they control their characters, like how you would actually do it in real life. Like they're not like, I don't know, slamming the mouse around.
Yeah,
I feel like I slammed the mouse a little bit.
Yeah. I don't slam the mouse. I just shake the fucking mouse in every single direction the minute a shot's fired at me. That's why I generally try to carry a Sega on me now, because it's probably the best spray and pray. Because most contacts, you even watch the PvP servers, and most contacts are XYZ killed JBC with XYZ gun at a range of 1 to 10 meters. So I've kind of said to myself, if I've got a Sega, there's a good chance I might win if I can remember to pull it out. My big mistake. You said you play friendly Gunstar. Do you walk around with a gun out or gun away?
If I'm feeling saucy, or it depends on the location. If I'm at a military base, I'll walk around with my gun out. Like that's a guarantee. You can't just, because you never know if you're going to like fumble the gun when you do get shot at a military base. And it's like KOS there. In general, though, if I'm walking around town, yeah, I don't have my gun out. But if I'm in Severograd or something like northwest area, I'll have my. It depends. It depends. Well, what do you do in general?
You say you walk around the airfield with the gun out. I'm remembering I was streaming once and I was at the airfield and I found a pack, a second pack, and I went, oh, great, I can carry the second pack and get even more loot. So I walked around the Northwest Airfield carrying a second pack in my hands, and people were just commenting in chat about it. Only fucking Boydie. Everyone else goes to the airfield and they get a gun out. Boydie carries a second pack so he can get more loot from running around there. And I die so often, mate, but that's just... My philosophy is that if I don't have a gun out, the other person's less likely to shoot first, because I'm a big believer in that KOS is generally either the person is a pure KOSer, or more commonly, it's gear fear. It's fear of seeing a player and that instinctive, I don't want to die, and they shoot when they see someone has a gun in their hands. So I'm always looking for the interaction. So I'm prepared to take the L. And yeah, D-Hop, you are a pure KOSer. I've seen your videos. I had to censor one so fucking hard, the trash talk you do when shooting people. But I'm the opposite. I just like to, see what my philosophy. Action rarely leads to interaction, but interaction can lead to action. If you shoot first, there's very little chance that you're going to end up with being able to interact. Whereas if you interact, there's always a chance that you could end up with some action from that. Might not be with the person you talk to, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough call. So you're 100% friendly. I feel like
99%
more middle ground. Yeah. Like you can have your gun out. It's fine. You can diffuse a situation. If two people with their guns out kind of run into each other face to face, you can diffuse the situation. It's a little bit more like high energy than like having a backpack in your hands.
But you haven't seen me. You haven't seen me in a gunfight, mate. Having a gun out doesn't make me any fucking more likely to shoot them. I am. And I don't know how it happened. I've been telling myself to download one of these aimbots. I used to be pretty okay at PvP. Now I can barely hit the side of a fucking barn door. When I take someone out with a gunshot, people like chat will literally just stop and go, "What the fuck just happened? Did Boydie win a gunfight?" I can't remember. I can't remember the last time I won a gunfight. The last person I killed, I punched him out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And that's going back a few weeks, actually.
You might do well with the shovel. The shovel is like OP these days. Just carry one of those around.
Yeah.
The unsuspecting shovel.
Yeah, can of peaches, everyone's saying.
Oh, that's good. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Or the old school fire extinguisher.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that was a one-hit knockout.
Yep.
That was a beefy bit of kit. And that's going back to the start of my Twitch days as well, watching Potato, because he always used to run around with one of those.
You're right.
He just literally gets spawned straight to the nearest fire station, grab one of those, like, right, now I win. And I don't think I ever saw him lose a physical encounter when he had one of those with him.
Yep. No, the meta seems to change. From what I understand, Lax was saying they've nerfed the shovel a bit because they realised it was a bit OP. Asmondian released that thing we talked about it last week, I think it was, where the shovel had one of the highest levels, and we were saying, I don't know, I'd rather get hit with a shovel than an axe, that's for sure. They nerfed shock damage, is what D-Hop's saying.
Yeah, I think it was the shovel and the sledgehammer, wasn't it? And then I think they've nerfed one but left the other as it was. And I don't know, I'm not quite sure which one it was. But yeah, I think they did nerf the shock damage of most of the higher damage melee weapon.
Arashi Ryu
or coming up?
I think current, I believe.
Yeah, I think they've nerfed it already. Yeah. Arashi Ryu is saying the fire extinguisher was also great for stopping cars from going by. I never did that. What, you just plonk it in the middle of the road and it would...
Oh, it's like a roadblock. I mean, you could just throw a stick on the ground, a long stick. The car will explode. Or it would. I don't know if that's the same.
I knew about fireplaces. I didn't know about a stick. Yeah, fence kits are deadly. But I didn't know about a stick. I knew about fireplaces, but that was it.
I might be exaggerating. Or misremembering.
Then again, when it comes to vehicles in DayZ.
Oh, fucking comes. You don't even need to put anything down. You just sit there and watch them bounce around and shoot off. Did anyone see Bundy's latest video with the clip of Benfruit? Him and Alan were at a base, and Benfruit just rocked up at the same place. They were playing on the same server. It wasn't coordinated or nothing. Totally scripted. You heard it first here. I'm saying that because
you know he's listening.
Yeah, I said that because I want to see if he pokes his head in again. I trash talked him last week, Gunstar, and he was actually listening to the podcast, and he came in here and he was like, "Talking shit, are we?" It was a fucking good podcast last week, but yeah,
that was by far the best moment in DayZ history, I think.
But yeah, he showed this clip where Ben stole this heavily modded car and it started bouncing around and just they're watching it just flip through the sky. And then a couple of minutes later, they head off and they look up and there's Ben running through the sky. He somehow got left in the air. So they shot him and killed him. And it was like, what? Fucking DayZ. Got to love it. But it's mods. Heavily modded server. So you can't blame DayZ for that. You can, and yet, but it doesn't have any weight to it.
No, and yet weirdly, on the DayZ expansion server, the vanilla cars run smooth as melted butter.
Yeah.
They are really like going down the main coastal road part, like Cami, Electro, and Cherno. Going down that long ass road, you could hit any one of the cars, get in any one of them, and do 100 kilometers an hour, and it is smooth as all hell. You try and do that on any of the officials, and you'll get about 10 meters before your car just starts doing backflips.
You just reminded me of something on DayZ Down Under. I said before I like to do little giveaways and stuff like that, and I do it for the communities of the servers I play in, and I put a bounty. I can't remember how much it was, but Spud has put quite a few mods in place on the roads of Chernerus. Back when we were playing on that map, and I put a bounty up. I saw a post about the top speed for a Gunter was 192 or something like that. And I put a bounty that if anyone could record themselves, and there was conditions, they had to state this in the video, and have a passenger, so that we could check the logs as well, because pretty much if they hit that speed, they were going to be at the end and they were going to crash and die. Oh my God, it was the best thing I've ever done for the fucking server. Nearly every faction on the server had all the vehicles locked up inside bases. The minute that I put that bounty out, there was just car crashes fucking everywhere on the map. Because he'd done mods, modded things in, put in barriers on roads and stuff like that, they couldn't just do it as easily as the person in the video had done it. They had to, they were doing things like the northern Severograd Road. They would start at Northwest Evac from there and gun it. And then there was at the T intersection there, the one that takes you down to Lopatino and that, or north to Solonichny, I think it is. No, not Solonichny. Sinterstock. He'd put a big roadblock there. And if you were good, you could just make it. But most people weren't that good. So they were crashing into barriers and people coming up. Threading the needle was butt clenching. Rhodey saying it there. Yeah. And then if you got through there, then you could get to the rest of it. But because of the mods that Spud had done to the server, no one was able to hit the target. So I ended up, I think, just giving it to, I said, right, you've got a week, whoever posts the video with the highest speed. And I can't remember who won it, but they were all posting these clips and it was fucking hilarious. And people need to do that more with the communities they're on, just little silly competitions to get people to remember why you play the game and have fun. And it was so great watching all these people crashing cars left, right and centre. Anyone who had a Gunter, it was like, oh, how much do you want for your Gunter? I want to try and get Boydie's bounty. And it was fucking gold, mate. Absolutely gold.
Nice.
No, just a lot of fun. Just a lot of fun.
It's good to do something different than the regular day-to-day DayZ action.
Yeah.
Something to mix it
up. We're on to the last segment of the show now, which is your favourite video or DayZ moment of the last week. Now, mine, I want to jump in first, is one from a guy who plays on the DayZ Down Under server I play on as well, Zenikist. And it was a really good video, just a good old-fashioned story. He used copyright music in it, which is something that if he ever wants to, hit that 1,000 sub mark and then get monetized, he won't be able to do that. But the song choices he picked all just fitted the video. It was absolutely fucking brilliant to watch. Just a good old school narrated adventure with a bunch of friends. Trying to get a Land Rover, one of the modded vehicles on the server, up and running, and what happens once they do get it. It was just a brilliant like we were talking about before with the great storytellers of the past, Gunstar, it was just great to watch a new up-and-coming content creator make such a epic little adventure video. What about you, Gunstar? You said you don't watch a lot, so I'm guessing you probably don't have anything.
Oh, I've got some hot clips of my own. I guess those are my favorite. No, I'm kidding. I'm trying to think. I was watching The Running Man live, and he ran into some guy who I think was pretending to be a DayZ noob, and he was just walking around aimlessly with his compass out, and Running Man was like, "Oh, here's the DayZ Bambi in its natural habitat," and then it turned into like a whole. He actually made a video and released it, but I thought that was a funny little experience. The guy was, I think he was pretending to be clueless, and then the Running Man was just like showing him the ropes. Oh, and he didn't have a mic either. That was part of his shtick.
The old no mic, no life.
That comes to mind. What about you, Brimstone? Have you seen any?
There's been, do you know what? There's been a couple of pretty decent ones. I think Septic Falcons put out a pretty good one recently about the from the expansion server. From an event that we did on the server last week. But I think for me this week, or this sort of most recently, I think I've got to give it up to Fubar Bundy for his most recent Encounters video. It's at number 24. I think, like you say, I think for me the intro was just brilliant. Just trying to get up to an airdrop. And seeing a bear and then going, oh shit, there's two bears. Oh, now some fucking idiot players just aggroed them on me. Shit. And just trying to run, and you got no chance. I just think absolutely brilliant as always.
Yeah. It was a good video. He makes amazing content, but I say that every bloody week, and people are going to get sick of it. They're going to think I've got a fetish for him or something like that, which I totally do. Fubar Bundy, please marry me. Please. No. What about anyone in chat? Any videos that you guys saw this week that you were absolutely blown away by or loved? But there's
Real quick, I just want to.
Yes.
Sorry. I was gonna say like all time like favorite DayZ moments. Daniel from SL has some of my favorite YouTube DayZ videos. I figured I'd shout him out because I don't know.
I've never heard of that one.
Him? Daniel from SL. He's a bit of a memer.
Oh, Daniel from SL. Can you post? Can you post a link in the podcast agenda? The one is saying, "Holy shit, Farmer John."
Yeah, Farmer John is one of his big DayZ videos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had some all-time classics.
Him pretending to be a hacker in that one vid was so good.
He was using a lockpick and just locking this guy in different houses, and the guy would be trapped somehow. I don't know. And finally, he broke the guy's legs, and let him. He's making these bird calls, and the guy thought he was getting hacked because he couldn't open any of the doors in the houses he'd go into, and he'd just go like caw caw. Oh, this hacker's. He's hacking me again. It's the
Holy
bird guy.
Shit, he's got some massive videos, doesn't he?
Yeah,
1.3 million views.
And it's like the videos are few and far between. Like it's definitely like quality over quantity with this guy. He mostly does Gary's Mod stuff now.
Might have to check some of those out. I just hit the sub button. The NSL.
They're all just hilarious. He's a super troll.
Actually, I want to quickly check something. What's Bundy's video at now? 861,000 for the sniping campers at 1,000 meters video.
Yeah, his newest Encounters one's over 60K.
Ooh, Fubar Bundy. Yeah, he's killing it.
Yeah. But that one just hit it off. Look at this one. Only 60K, 5 days, and sniping campers is 861,000 views. Just something went right with it. Algorithm must have Yeah. YouTube can be a cruel mistress at times, can't she, Gunstar?
Oh yeah, I don't get random people watching my DayZ videos. It's got to be like linked somewhere for someone to see it. It's never in the algorithm. I don't know how any of it works, honestly.
Oh, Jesus, Coach, you're going to get me accused of consorting with cheaters again. He's nominated a JLK video, revenge raiding our neighbours.
Did he get caught?
Using ESP.
Ooh. Yeah, you got to hide that. I hide it in the overlay. People don't.
That's fucking hilarious. That was some time ago, but pretty much everyone's convinced now. And I still speak to the lad. He's a nice young lad that he has changed his ways. It was just a silly slip up at the time. Interestingly, people aren't being as forgiving of young Milo, which we've talked about a bit, but I jumped into a stream again the other night and they were still talking about it. And there are still a lot of very angry people at Milo, the average sniper.
I think it's a bit of a weird one where the comparison between JLK and Milo, I think, is a little bit sort of strange to me, because I think it was JLK was caught for using the in-game, not the in-game, but like the admin tool map to, to find where someone was. But there was no mention of him using God mode or anything like that. And I think that's the big difference is with Milo, he was clearly using God mode, and having that unfair. I mean, there's still both were unfair advantages against legitimate players, essentially. But I think there might be a slight differential in that obviously one was using a map and the other one was using God mode. So
yeah,
I think maybe people probably think the God mode thing is a bit more of an egregious offense than just because I think if you use the map, granted where someone is, that's fine. But if you're not teleporting to them, then you've still got to go to them, and you're still risking that you might get shot in the face if you're not as good at PvP as that person you're tracking. Whereas with Milo, it was it doesn't matter what anyone else did. He had God mode on. There was no way he was dying. So I think there was a slight difference there, but.
Lax is saying, angry, jealous YouTube don't want competition. He was pretty scathing last week, Lax was, on this whole thing. But I still stand by what Coach has said as well. As I said before, I did a lot of dumb things when I was 19. And the stream I was in the other night, I said, I did shit when I was young that would probably see me in jail in fucking today's PC world that we live in. Like one thing, one thing I will say, I did actually do 14 days in the military jail for this. And if you did that today, if I did that into the post 9/11 world that we live in, my fucking God, mate, I would have been in civilian court. I stole half a stick of plastic explosive.
Oh, Boydie's a terrorist. You heard it here first.
But you know why I took it? It's a little known fact about plastic explosive. It actually burns very well.
As opposed to explodes.
No, it doesn't explode with flame. It needs an explosion to make it explode. That's where you use a detonator. But boy, do you used to use a bomber. But if you've ever been out camping and you've ever used those little hexamine blocks, the little cooking tablets, they're fucking shit. They are fucking shit. It takes a fucking half an hour to boil a cup of water. You get one small thumbnail-sized piece of plastic explosive and light that on fire, and you'll have a cup of boiling water in like a minute or two. Anything bigger than that, and you'll burn a hole straight through the bottom of your cup. Were you ever in Atlanta? No. But yeah, that's something stupid I did. Didn't think nothing of it at the time. Just did it. And they, fuck yeah, I'll take some of this, keep it. I knew it was wrong, but I did it. And I suffered for it. One of my mates let it slip. because I didn't hide it. And he let it slip.
Grass.
And a senior NCO overheard it and came marching up to my room and said, "Where is it?" And I pointed up and I said, "It's up there." And yeah, then they investigated the entire Pioneer course, because it was on the Pioneer course, which Pioneers are like an infantry version of an engineer. And they came in, every single person who was on that course got inspected. The entire Pioneers got inspected. The MPs just went through the lines. There was literally blokes running out of buildings as the MPs were entering with bags full of shit. The rule in the army, the rule in the military was steal from the system, never steal from your mates. So everyone used to pinch shit from the army. You know, blokes had bullets. There were blokes who had grenades and they'd take them fishing and shit like that. They'd take that. Yeah, on the Barrier Reef. But you know, that was way back. You know, this is 30 years ago. We were pretty stupid. Yeah, did some stupid fucking shit. Like I said, should I be remembered for it? Yeah, I saved this story for tonight. I did want to actually drop it, but we all have done stupid shit. All of us have. And I know some people think age doesn't matter, but Coach, you'll agree with me, mate. You're an older guy. Lax, even you're older, mate. Brim, how old are you again?
28.
28. What about you, Gunstar?
33.
33. Are you guys the same as you were 10, 15 years ago?
No, I got smarter and I learned how to not get caught. I still do stupid shit on a daily basis that I'm pretty sure to some degree there must be in some country a law against it, but I'm just smart enough not to leave any evidence.
Yeah, we've all learned things, you know, but I still definitely do dumb shit all the time. Not like steal plastic explosives, but
I don't think I've got that opportunity, but yeah.
That story is so great. I love that.
I just put a picture up on the screen, and this is one for everyone. A man who views the world the same at 50 as he did at 20 has wasted 30 years of his life. Apparently, it's a quote attributed to Muhammad Ali. And when I heard it, it was, wow. Yeah, wow. Cool Zebra. Okay, Cool Zebra in chat saying he's 54. What do you think, mate? You know, yes, he should be held accountable for what he did. But Val summed it up perfectly for me. I'm just not comfortable jumping on and dogpiling on a 19-year-old boy for, yes, he did something wrong, and yes, there was a monetary gain in it. But on the scale of things, I just think it's being blown out of proportion.
Okay. I didn't know he was 19.
Like I say, he didn't...
I'd forgive him then.
Yeah, and it's not like he actually sort of murdered anyone in real life. I think we've sort of said it a couple of times now. Like, at the end of the day, it's a video game, and it was a video on YouTube. No one actually got real life hurt. You know, it's all just ones and zeros in code. Like, there's no point in, you know, in crucifying someone over something that is essentially, you know, so trivial.
I just saw the post from you, Gunstar. One of your viewers, Casmel, recommended this clip from Smoke. Let's have a look at it. I love some of Smoke's clips. What do we got?
How much SKS ammo you got? I got another box for you. Just bandage up.
Yeah.
I'll protect you.
I hope it's a good one. I didn't.
That guy's dead too.
Nice, man.
That's what happens. I think he's fucking slick taunting somebody. Oh, he's got nothing on him either. Oh, he's still alive. Yo, I just heard a... Yo, come finish this guy. Just put a bullet in his head. Hey, that was real funny, dude. You're a real jokester. How much SKS ammo you got? I got another box for you. Just bandage up.
Just how quickly he snaps
Yeah,
onto
check
this
too.
guy and just bang.
Aim
That guy's dead
hacks.
too.
And DayZ is not an easy game to, yeah. Cool Zebra is saying he agrees with me as well. You have to become more patient and be understanding. Yeah, in the stream the other day, I said I've got a 19-year-old son myself. He's made silly mistakes. Nothing on the scale of what I've made. He's a lot smarter and more mature than his old man was at his age. But yeah, you know, maybe being a parent makes you chill a bit more as well. Yeah. And I do kind of agree with what Lax said with the whole, you know, a lot of it is financially motivated with the YouTube not wanting competition. And any chance they can get to dogpile on someone, they will.
Oh yeah, I think I mentioned it as well that there were a fair few, larger content creators in the DayZ community that were just, that were basically just, pitchforks and torches at the ready, as soon as your interview with Milo came out. They heard what they wanted to hear and not the context behind it, and just immediately went, "Well, I'm fucking taking offense at that." And I think I'll make the same point now as I did then as well. Is something I can't remember where I saw it, but I saw somewhere someone say that offense can only be taken, not given.
Yeah.
They took offense at something where offense wasn't necessarily meant. Now, I do think that in that situation with that interview, that Milo did say things, and I think he did kind of try and palm it off on other people a little bit, and
Now,
did come up with a bit
let
of
me
a
clarify
crap
that.
excuse. But
Let me clarify that, because that was something that was raised, that Milo tried to palm the thing off. It is my fault that happened. It is 110% my fault of being a bad interviewer and not screening the questions. I set that poor kid up, and I still feel bad about this now. I really genuinely feel bad. I gave him a loaded question that if I was just fucking, let's face it, my IQ is not the highest, but if I was a smarter person, I would have seen the danger of the comment and not read it, because it wasn't even a question. It was a comment. And by me asking it, he had no choice but to answer it. Now, I pushed him to making that statement about that he's not the only one, that because of what he does, he can see other people still doing it. So that is 110% on me and not Milo. Maybe he shouldn't have said anything, but honestly, I agree that there's others doing it. Gunstar, what do you reckon?
yeah,
That awkward moment while we wait for Gunstar.
Hello?
Hey, there we go. Yeah.
Oh,
so,
sorry. Was I
so what do
muted?
you? So yeah, you were muted. So what do you reckon, mate?
I was jokingly saying, well, I do it all the time, and I get great content out of it. But I mean, there's probably other people doing it.
Yeah.
Little setup scenarios and whatnot.
You're
I've been
mad if you
accused
think
of
there's
it
no one.
on a few videos.
Yeah, Bundy said he has. Lack said he has. I think even the Running Man said he has. But what they forget is, what gets uploaded into those short YouTube videos, 10, 20, 30 minutes, is 10, 20, 30 minutes out of hours and hours and hours of gameplay. And if you watch these guys stream, if you watch the guys who do interact a lot more than a pussy like me who just hides in my base when people shoot outside it, they die a lot. Even the good guys like Tope and Minder, they die a lot. But every now and then, because of the sheer volume of hours they play, they get these amazing interactions.
Yeah,
and I
crazy shit
think
just happens sometimes. Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, and I think, to be fair, I think you're a little bit sort of unfair on yourself a little bit there, Boydie, with the with the question. Like, I think it's one of those things where sort of you could have worded it better, and you could have asked a different question or screened the questions or whatever. But at the end of the day, you asked a question, and it was up to Milo on how he answered that. And whether it was or wasn't a sort of a bit of a loaded question in a sense, at the end of the day, his answer to that could have easily have just been along the lines of "I fucked up," and that's it, and that's the bottom line. But he didn't. He worded it under no duress or under no guidance. He worded it the way he worded it, and maybe he didn't get across the point he was trying to, and he sort of maybe fumbled his words and didn't say it how he was meant to say it. But I think at the end of the day, I think you did very well with that interview. And I think it was sort of at the end of the day, he made a mistake. He's owned up to it. He's moving on. I think it's we should all sort of move on from it and let bygones be bygones. Like you said, he's a 19-year-old kid. Like Mike said on the podcast, not comfortable crucifying a fucking child for making a mistake.
Now we've just had
Brimstone.
Yeah,
that's all true.
We just had a question in chat. Is DayZ still a thing? Which is a common thing you get when you stream it. Mate, DayZ is the best it has been since... holy shit. 45,398 is the all-time record. They actually, in February...
So I think that's that December 2013's the release, isn't it?
Yeah, how did I not notice that before? The 40,000 spike in February 2020.
It was a free weekend.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, it's in February. Never mind. Was it free to play back then?
Yeah, there was a free to play back then, I think.
I say they do it quite frequently, don't they? They try and do it sort of once every 2 months or so.
But it's actually sitting at 30,000 right now, so it's gone up a bit.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I always said there's life in this old girl yet. Even when she was on life support down there at 3,000. But she's definitely climbing back up there. Good to see. Good to see. Yeah, the one who's saying that was the last free weekend, the 40,545 players. So it went up by...
I mean, it's obviously going to drop after a free weekend because obviously not everybody that played the free weekend is going to enjoy it and want to then buy the game and keep playing it. But it stayed relatively steady. I mean, it did have a big drop off between February and March, but then it steadily climbed then and got back to a decent base of like 30k from then on. So like you say, it's definitely life in the old girl yet.
It's good to see. It is good to see. Gents, are there any other topics you would like to discuss? Gunstar?
Ooh, give me a second. Let me rack my brain. Nothing. I didn't have anything I had to. Nothing important.
I think this is where we get to all hang shit on Ceramore because he's not here.
Oh, good call. Good call. Here we go.
Ceramore, you're the worst. Take that.
You piece of garbage.
Yeah, what he said.
Also, he KOS'd me. He KOS'd me last night at Starry Tents. Didn't even give me a chance to talk. KOS'er.
Guys and girls.
And he's a no-shower.
And a no-shower. I've got the best insult. He dogged the boys.
Can't be doing that.
No.
That's not on.
He dogged the boys. You are now forever known as the dogger of boys.
That means something completely different in my country, so you might want to reword that for the British fans.
I think it might mean the same everywhere.
Before we go, Gunstar, I'd like you to answer this one, mate, because this is one that we get all the time. I'd love to see how you answer it. Rengal98 has just said, just feels, and this is, I'm not naming and shaming you, mate. I love it when people come in and say this because he's made the comment, it just feels like a running simulator over time, no. So he's asking it as a question. How do you answer when people say that in your streams, Gunstar?
Running simulator. I mean, to be completely honest, my left hand will kind of cramp up sometimes just from holding down the W key. 'Cause I'm constantly just running.
Yeah.
I mean, it is if you want to look at it that way, but when you call it a running simulator, you're forgetting everything else. It's like you're running in a marathon with other people, and you can talk to these people also running in the marathon, and maybe you guys, everyone kind of has the same goal. Everyone's trying to get geared up, and people push each other over during the marathon and kick their shins and stop them from getting to the goal. So I'm trying to connect it to the running simulator thing. I think it's more than a running simulator. That's
so much
but
more.
I also agree with the sentiment. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. You do spend a lot of time running, but I always just say DayZ is what you want it to be. If you want it to be a running simulator, which is kind of what I do, I run around and loot, the little loot goblin that I am. But at the same time, you just never know what's going to happen. And that's the beauty of DayZ. Anything can happen. And that's why people need to watch the likes of you, Saramore, Fubar, Lax, Benfruit, Running Man, Taupe, Minder. Fucking the list just goes on of all these people who can show you so many different ways to play the game. And there'll be a style that you will enjoy, find hilarious, and will inspire you to some of the most amazing memories that you will ever get in any video game. There's other games, you'll have the fleeting moment here and there, but DayZ is just full of so many fucking things that could only happen in a game like DayZ.
Correct. There's so many games I've been addicted to and that I've played like thousands of hours on. But thinking back to those other first-person shooters or whatever, I don't have any real like solid memories. But with DayZ, it's like there's hundreds of events that have happened while I've been playing. That it's like, it's a whole like storybook.
It is. And as a storybook, you can do pretty much anything you want. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Gunstar, I know it was an early start for you, mate. I am forever grateful that you agreed to do this, mate. If someone could give Gunstar a shout out, I'll have, if you're watching the video of this, there'll be links to Gunstar's YouTube channel and Twitch in the description, and also his Twitter, so you can harass him on there with dick pics. He does like them, he told me. I
heard him say that too.
Yeah. Thankfully, I've got access to Fubar Bundy's backdoorgovs.slut.au website, so I was able to get plenty of them from there. But yeah.
By dicks, you mean pictures of men named Richard?
Yes, of course. Okay. Of course.
Because I'm into
that. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Brim, a pleasure as always, mate. You and Val, the rocks that keep me grounded with this crazy journey we're on with this podcast, mate. I'm loving it.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. The feeling is mutual, man. Always a pleasure.
All the best, gentlemen, and I will see you next week.
Have a good one, everyone.
Say bye, Gunstar.
Am I muted again?
Yeah.
Hello. Damn it. Anyways, there we go. Saying, thanks for having me, Brimstone. It was nice meeting you, and we should do this again sometime. Maybe Sarah.
You too, Gunstar.
Mate, the rule with the podcast is I don't remove your permissions, mate. If you're ever awake at this time and you're watching and you've got something you want to contribute, you're welcome to jump on in and surprise us all. And it's not just me and Val and Brim who do this. This is everyone's show. Last week, I think we had 7 or 8 people fucking in at one stage. It was madness, but it was so much fun.
Oh, cool. Yeah, sounds good.
Okay then, buddy. All the best and ciao for now.